Lost in time. As the clock struck midnight, Penelope found herself standing alone in the heart of an ancient forest. The trees loomed tall and twisted, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The air was thick with an eerie stillness that sent a shiver down her spine. She tried to remember how she had ended up here, but her memory was a jumbled mess of confusion. All she knew was that she was lost in time. Penelope took a deep breath and tried to collect her thoughts. She was a historian, well versed in the annals of time, but this place was unlike anything she had ever seen before. The trees were unlike any species she had encountered in her studies, and the air had a strange, otherworldly scent. She reached for her phone, hoping to call for help, but it was dead. Panic began to set in as she realized she had no way to communicate with the outside world. She was truly alone in this mysterious forest. With no other option, Penelope decided to start walking. She followed a narrow, winding path that seemed to lead deeper into the forest. The path was overgrown with foliage, and it was clear that it hadn't been used in a very long time. As she walked, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, that the ancient trees held secrets she couldn't begin to fathom. Hours turned into days as Penelope continued her journey through the forest. She survived on berries and the occasional stream she stumbled upon. There was an uncanny sense of timelessness in this place. The sun never seemed to move in the sky, and the days and nights blurred together. One day, as she was walking along the path, Penelope heard the faint sound of a flute in the distance. It was a hauntingly beautiful melody that seemed to beckon her forward. She followed the sound, her heart pounding with both fear and curiosity. As she ventured deeper into the forest, the music grew louder and more enchanting. It led her to a clearing where a figure stood, bathed in a soft, ethereal light. It was a man, dressed in ancient garments, playing the flute with a skill and grace that was otherworldly. Penelope watched in awe as the music filled the air, wrapping itself around her like a warm embrace. She couldn't tear her eyes away from the mysterious musician. He seemed to be as out of place in this forest as she was. Finally, the music ceased, and the man lowered the flute. He turned to Penelope, and their eyes met. There was a depth of wisdom in his gaze, as if he had lived through centuries. "You are not from this time," he said, his voice as melodic as his flute. "How did you come to be here?" Penelope explained her plight, how she had been inexplicably transported to this ancient forest, and how she had been wandering for what felt like an eternity. The man nodded, his expression filled with understanding. "You have stumbled upon a rift in time, a place where the boundaries of past, present, and future are blurred. I, too, am a traveler of time, and I have spent centuries in this forest, guarding the secrets it holds." Penelope was both intrigued and wary. What secrets does this forest hold? The man smiled, a sad and knowing smile. "It holds the memories of those who have been lost in time, like you. It is a place where the past and future converge, where the threads of time intertwine. But it is also a place of great danger, for one can become lost here forever." Penelope felt a shiver run down her spine. She knew she needed to find a way back to her own time, but she also felt a strange connection to this ancient forest and its enigmatic guardian. The man extended his hand. "I can help you find your way back, but you must promise me one thing. Promise that you will remember this place and the time you spent here, for it is a part of your journey through the ages." Penelope hesitated for a moment, then took his hand. "I promise." With that, the man closed his eyes, and Penelope felt a rush of energy surround her. The forest seemed to come alive, and she was once again standing at the exact moment she had first arrived, as the clock struck midnight. But this time, she had a deep understanding of the forest's secrets and the guardian who watched over it. She knew that she had been lost in time, but she had also found a connection to a place that existed beyond the boundaries of the past, present, and future. And as she walked away from the ancient forest, she knew that her journey through time was far from over. As Penelope walked away from the ancient forest, the memories of her time there lingered in her mind like a vivid dream. She couldn't shake the feeling that the forest had granted her a unique perspective on the flow of time itself. Days turned into weeks, and Penelope resumed her life as a historian, teaching and researching the past. Yet, she couldn't forget the guardian of the forest and the haunting music of the flute. She often found herself gazing at old photographs and maps, wondering if there were other rifts in time waiting to be discovered. One evening, as she was sifting through dusty manuscripts in her study, Penelope stumbled upon a reference to an ancient legend. It spoke of a mystical forest that existed outside the boundaries of time, a place where the past, present, and future converged. The legend hinted at the existence of a guardian who held the key to understanding the secrets of time itself. The more Penelope delved into the legend, the more convinced she became that the forest she had encountered was the very place described in the ancient texts. The guardian, it seemed, was not only a protector of the forest but also a keeper of its knowledge. Driven by her insatiable curiosity, Penelope decided to return to the forest. She believed that if she could find the guardian once more, she might uncover the answers to the mysteries of time and perhaps even a way to harness its power for the betterment of humanity. With a backpack filled with supplies, Penelope made her way back to the forest. She followed the same winding path, though this time, it seemed to beckon her more urgently. As she ventured deeper, the forest felt even more enchanted than before, as if it had been waiting for her return. Finally, she reached the same clearing where she had first encountered the guardian. There, bathed in the same ethereal light, he stood with his flute in hand. He greeted her with a knowing smile. "You've returned," he said, his voice filled with warmth. Penelope nodded. "I couldn't forget this place, and I couldn't forget you. I believe there's so much more to learn here, about time and its secrets." The guardian nodded in agreement. "You are right. Time is a tapestry, and here in this forest, its threads are intertwined in ways that few can comprehend." Penelope was eager to learn, and she spent weeks with the guardian, absorbing his knowledge. She discovered that the forest was indeed a nexus of time, a place where the past could be revisited and the future glimpsed, though always with great caution. The guardian taught her how to harness the power of the forest to access different moments in history. Together, they explored the annals of time, witnessing ancient civilizations rise and fall, observing pivotal moments in history, and gaining insights into the mysteries of the universe. Penelope's understanding of time deepened with each passing day, and she felt a profound connection to the guardian. But as the months passed, Penelope began to notice a change in the guardian. He seemed to be growing weaker, his ageless appearance showing signs of wear. She realized that he had sacrificed his own time to teach her and share the knowledge of the forest. One day, as Penelope stood in the clearing, she felt a powerful surge of energy course through her. It was as if the forest itself had chosen her to be its guardian, to carry on the duty of protecting its secrets and guiding those who were lost in time. The guardian smiled, though there was sadness in his eyes. "It is time for me to go," he said. "But you, Penelope, are now the keeper of this place and its mysteries. Use the knowledge wisely, and remember that time is a gift, meant to be cherished." With those words, the guardian faded into the forest, becoming one with its timeless essence. Penelope was left alone, but she was no longer lost in time. She had become a part of the forest's story, a guardian of its secrets, and a traveler through the ages. And as she played the haunting melody of the flute, the forest seemed to come alive once more, its secrets waiting to be discovered by those who dared to venture into its timeless embrace. Penelope knew that her journey through time was now her destiny, and she embraced it with a sense of wonder and purpose.